All right, about to go live on stock market news today. Wall Street sizing. We are live. Nice. You found Wall Street sizing up. This is the stock market news today for March 10th, year of our Lord 2021. We do this every day. Yesterday I actually taped it to see if the views would go up, and not sure I saw that. But today, if you've watched this before, you know we get the quick bites for the news, the geeks, the misfits. Typically, it's not found on CNBC, but sometimes it is. I take a crap load of newsletters and I crunch them down to the cool stuff today. So we're going to talk about meme stocks, we'll talk about tech stocks, patents, we got some EV news, we got 2 recovery stocks from David Tepper. So if you hang in there with me, there are 2 stocks to watch. So we're gonna get started real quick here. I'm gonna try to do this under 10 minutes. I typically do not do it. It's usually around 12 to 15, but we're gonna try. All right, markets today. So NASDAQ was down 42, and Dow Jones was down, was up 464 points. Now here's the thing with that, guys, is that we've never seen the markets so divergent literally since the dot-com crash. I read that in one of the newsletters yesterday, and that was from the day before. Then yesterday they were both up, and today they're diverging again. So it is just a crazy time. You can see the Dow rose all throughout the day. NASDAQ started strong and then just fell off, and S&P was up. A couple of these we've called before. So we had called less than 90 days AVEO Pharmaceuticals. I want to say a big hedge fund. I want to say it was 0.72. I could be wrong about that one. It had sized up on it. And then we had another one on the strong was Pandion Therapeutics. We also called less than 90 days out. Now, to be fair, we had INVO, which is INVO Biosciences too, and that lost 32. Also lost about 26 yesterday. So I would say that's net positive, right? So, all right, let's get started. First up, we talked about the markets. We're going to talk about Bitcoin here. When it comes up, there it is. Bitcoin was up. It did hit an all-time high today, above 57, and now it's marched back to 56.7 now is where it's at. So let's get started. This is not going to be the first one, but yeah, the volatility is hitting the hot SPAC market. So if you know anything about the SPAC market, how it kind of works, leading up to it, the SPAC actually, in terms of history, gains, right? Whether it's 5, 10, 15%, sometimes more, right? Once they announce, it typically gains, and then about a week or 2 after, it just falls off. And this is what's going on. The volatility is finally hitting the SPAC market, and most SPACs are down after a month, 20%. Also, GameStop today, I don't think I have it up there. GameStop today, GME, had rocketed back. So today it rocketed to like $348 before trading was halted again due to volatility, and then it cratered back to I believe right under 200, and then I think it's settling at about 240, right? So very interesting day if you own the meme stock. The U.S. core. So the reason that we got this, and I'm really surprised at this a little bit too. In February, the U.S. core consumer price index rose only 0.1%. That tracks the inflation from the month prior instead of the 0.2% that was expected. That's a good thing. President Biden will soon announce plans to purchase an additional 100 million doses of vaccine from J&J. You probably saw that. And one thing that I know you did not see, Walmart is now doing live stream shopping on TikTok. They did it last night. They're going to do it tonight. I do not have a link to it, but I saw it. The figures have not been released, what they sold last night, what the revenue was. But you could expect that if they're doing a second night, well, I'm sure that they had this whole all week planned out. So let's see, once they go into that second week or the second month, then it's typically working. Just to give you some really the 25,000 foot view is that China does this a lot, right? A lot of these third party marketplaces let people live stream shopping, and it's a huge, like a multi-billion-dollar business over there. I want to say it's over 50 billion. It might even be bigger than that. So, all right, I'm sure you saw this. Oh, here's where the CPI rises less than estimates, easing inflation alarms. All right, Roblox. So it went to public today. If you did not know, went through a direct listing at $45 a share. Again, I think Wall Street missed on this one a little bit, but it was a direct listing, so they didn't issue new shares. But as soon as it popped 50% up, last time I looked right before the bell, it was at $70. Although the NYSE's recent amendments to direct listings allow for companies to raise new capital, they did not. The reference share price gives Roblox a market cap of $30 billion. I don't know what that. I mean, if you're looking at 50% more, so you're looking at 45 billion market cap now. There you go. All right, as reported yesterday, General Electric is selling its jet leasing division to AerCap, a $30 billion deal. It's got. We reported 1,400 aircraft. It's actually 2,000 in a new, or I'm sorry, an updated article here. As part of the deal, GE will transfer $34 billion worth of assets and receive $24 billion in cash and a 46% stake in the combined company with AerCap. Right, so that was not reported yesterday. That's pretty cool. GE will also account for a $3 billion in charge in Q1 2021. But here's the thing, guys. Just 5 years ago, 2015, GE Capital once had a $600 billion in assets. They just sold $34 billion. What they're talking about is they had some rail assets. I want to say the rail assets when they sold those off for right at about $100 billion. My dad would know because he's one of the few guys that had been on the rail side and the tank car side. So, I mean, it literally had more assets than J.P. Morgan, right? And it had more in lending business in 2008 than J.P. Morgan. The company started selling the parts of the division in 2015 as investors considered the lending business to be risky. I think they missed on that one. What's up next? Well, that would be Apple. Apple reportedly overestimated iPhone 12 mini demand by a lot. So the bigger phones are selling. So Apple's cutting back production of the iPhone 12 mini by 70% for the first half of this year after severely overestimating the demand for the product, right? All right. Sure you saw this in the biggest, laugh my effing ass off. Trader gets painted stones instead of 36 million in copper, right? So typically copper is traded on paper, not really delivered. Well, they wanted it delivered. So it came from a Turkish company, but it came via a Chinese shipper. So somewhere in there, it was checked before it left, supposedly. It was checked, it got the marker that everything was good. So from when the inspector checked it, from what I understand, in Turkey, before it was loaded onto the boat, right, or the ship, that it was good to go. So it's the time between him leaving and then it turning to night, and before it was loaded on, there was 300 containers. That's a lot of moving, right? Now this happened over several nights, right? So it's pretty interesting stuff, though. They paid $36 million in copper and got rocks that were painted a copper color. All right, here we go. I wanted to give you this pretty cool stat here. So America's Cup yachts close on speeds of 100. So let me get to the right story here. All right, so what this means is one of the racing yachts competing in the America's Cup, a sailing competition that begins today in New Zealand, hit a max speed. Okay, it's a sailing now. No motorboats, no motor, no engine, no electric, nothing. 61 miles an hour. If you've ever been 61 miles an hour on a boat, it's extremely fast. Extremely fast. You're so close to the water, typically, you know that you are moving 61 miles an hour. It's like a go-kart, right? It's how typically close you are. And if it hits 61 miles an hour without an engine, that is scary. These things can absolutely fly. It's pretty freaking awesome. Very, very dope. All right. I don't know what I got next. All right. So we'll get that in just a second. I did want to tell you this. Some industry experts believe that they believe that the groceries pandemic honeymoon phase is coming to an end as consumers return to restaurants. Totally agree, right? I think the delivery part is coming to an end, right? I mean, you still got to shop for groceries, right? Grocery sales are estimated to fall 5% in 2021 after increasing 11% last year. I don't know if it's really going to fall. I'm just telling you, it's not going to be as delivered. People are going to want to get out. They're going to want to go to the store. There's something about going to the store. I don't get it, but a lot of people do. Something about going to the store. Something about maybe if you're single, maybe meeting somebody there. I don't know. Getting some coffee, whatever. I don't get it, but this was according to UBS. So we'll see if that plays out. All right. This is sick. CDC and the Dollar General are exploring a partnership. I think this is phenomenal because where your Dollar Generals are, right? If you're in urban areas, you don't really understand this. The Dollar General is typically in small communities, small towns, rural towns. And that's who needs this the most. There's real small towns. Now, the bigger small towns, this is what I'm telling my friends. If you hadn't got the vaccine and you're in a big rural town, say New York, say Houston, say Dallas, say Phoenix, LA, you're not getting the vaccine anytime soon, right? Vaccines are expiring, right? Go to vaccine, what's the website? Vaccine, I'll put in the links, but vaccinefinder.org. So find that there's vaccines expiring. My neighbors drove to Lubbock, Texas. That's about 7 hours away. They got theirs. We drove about 3 hours. And we're not jumping the line. There was an email that went out. These are expiring. So we jumped in. So if you want the vaccine, it is out there to be had. You're going to have to drive, but it's typically in these small towns. Just that's a little nugget from my experience. All right. What do I have next? We'll get to this one in just a second. Interest rates continue to rise quickly. Mortgage refinancing has fallen off 43% from a year ago. 43% year over year from a year ago. Now, remember, we had just gone into lockdown too, so that's somewhat skewed and maybe a little bit disingenuous, but the mortgage rate is rising. All right. Amazon's long-rumored Vesta home robot project. This is the one that flies around, right? It's got the cameras, right? It has features built in with Alexa, multiple integrated cameras, a display, the ability to move around the house and the home. The project, Amazon has put more than 800 workers and is one of Amazon's biggest current hardware projects. There have been multiple production delays and it's unknown whether the robot will ever be released. So this is the one, it's kind of like a home security. It just flies around your house when you're not there. So who knows if it'll ever come to market. All right. Do I have? Yes. So here is the USPTO, right? It's a patent and trademark office if you did not know. Check out this. Facebook ready to talk about how its AR glasses will work with neural wristbands. Facebook's first pair of smart glasses are being released this year. The next generation of smart glasses will work alongside a soft wristband that measures hand and finger gestures and provides haptic feedback. It will use neural input tech to convert electrical impulses into inputs. A short video demonstrating how the setup would work is available out there if you wanted to Google. It's very, very cool. Literally, they're going to be able to teleport you or your image of you, the avatar of you, into a meeting, right? That's the big deal, right? All right, before we can get to this one, let's go to, so another kind of cool cool newsletter I read. It's called Patent Drop. Guy's got 100,000 subscribers, so he's doing something right. So this is from Patent from Microsoft. I don't have the visual, but because it's just a USPTO, right? So it's interactive visual search engine. Check this out. Microsoft is working on a new type of visual search engine that acts upon information from a users in a multi-step interaction via chatbot. I'm not a fan of chatbot, but this sounds pretty dope. The search engine will include a visual intent module that essentially identifies topics that correspond to different objects found in an image. If a user has submitted text input to, the search engine will look for keywords and triage it with an image a user submits. For example, if a user submits an image of a flower and asks what time of year does this flower bloom, the Microsoft bot will infer that the flower identified in the image relates to the question being asked. So if the flower in the image is identified as a tulip, Microsoft chatbot will then search what time of year do tulips bloom, right? That's how it works. So with this chatbot, there's a number of back and forth interactions between the user and the search engine, which supposedly is going to get you more engaged. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of chatbots, but if it can get me a better search within 2 or 3 questions, I might just jump on that. All right, coming to the end here, before I give you the 2 the 2 stocks to watch, David Tepper that has positions in them. All right, forget NIO and Xpeng. This company, Tesla, will be the top 2 electric vehicle plays in 2025, says UBS. You're going to be a little bit surprised about this. So before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about this. Chinese electrical vehicle companies NIO, Li Auto, and Xpeng are planning to list on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, right? Combined valuation about $5 billion. The trio has raised over $14.7 billion in the U.S. markets. So they're here, but now they're going to raise there. China is the world's largest EV market, and sales of new energy vehicles are expected to rise by 40% this year to 1.8 million units for all 3. Here's the thing. If you've ever watched China Hustle, I'm telling you, be very, very concerned about that, because they've already listed here. Now they're going to go there and raise more, right? So you need to watch. I'm literally going to do a TikTok on China Hustle, because people need to know about these Chinese companies. I'm not saying all, but there are a lot are just flat out scams. So if you're looking at the momentum stocks, you can play them that way. SOS, crappy stock, was up to date. So here's the deal. So what company? So that all that being said, with those Chinese electric vehicle companies, Swiss Bank, UBS believes Tesla, and here it is, Volkswagen will be the top 2 dominant players in the global electric vehicle market in 2025. Wonder why that is. Why did UBS say that? It's very, very interesting, and I typically trust UBS. They clearly that they've been wrong at times, but when it comes to forward projections of 5+ years, they're fairly good from what I can see. All right, 2 stocks that David Tepper has a known position in. Number 1 is MPLX. That's a Marathon Petroleum, right? Now, these aren't huge jumps, right? These are recovery stocks. They've already started to recover. Marathon Petroleum is one of the giants of big oil, right? Operates across the U.S. and the Rocky Mountains, the Midwest, Gulf Coast, moving oil and natural gas products from wells to storage and distribution facilities. So I believe it's around 25. They're saying the price target is 29. That's what we have looked up on several tools. Now, there are higher and there are lower, but the price that seems to be popped up the most is 29. Next one is EPD, or Enterprise Product Partners, another energy play. We look at, it's a midstream company that caught Tepper's attention, right? Enterprise Product Partners has a $50 billion market cap, so that's huge. Is a major player in the midstream segment. If you don't know what midstream is, that's like pipelines, right? It operates a network of assets, including more than 50,000 pipeline miles, storage facilities for 160 million barrels of oil, and 14 billion cubic feet of natural gas. Big company. And the shipping terminals on Gulf Coast. I believe they're at 23 as well, and their price target is 27. So you're getting about a 15 in one instance and about a 12% in another instance uplift. So there you have it. There is the news today as we see it. The cool, the dope stuff that you want to see for the just quick hits, quick bites. So with that said, guys, cheers. Wash your six, go hard and paint. We'll see you.